Susie,
Santi.
planning out your sex will keep your sex life alive well into your 40s and 50s.
Wow. That was a very strong statement, Santi. I think I
And
agree with
here's
that. I don't do that, but maybe I should.
right. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with why, but trust me when I tell you, it makes it so much better.
I can't wait to get into this. So how's your week been, Santi? What have you been up to?
My week's been good. I feel like I'm coming off being sick still for 2 weeks. I was away a couple weeks ago and then I came back with a cold because here's one thing. When you have kids, fortunately for you and Matt, you guys don't, so you don't have to deal with this, but kids bring the sicknesses home, but
Yeah.
then they also do a thing where they don't understand personal space. So then they sneeze in your face while you're on vacation and then you come home with a cold. So for the past 2 weeks, I've been dealing with this cold and now I feel like I'm on the tail end of it, but I still
Yeah.
have this cough that's been lingering.
Yeah.
So I've been dealing with that, which is fine. And then just trying to film some content and just kind of keep this new part of my life going with some professional changes that I've been going through. But I'm just like really trying to expand and really relaunch who I am online because to be quite honest, I feel like the last couple of years or last year, I've lost who I was and I've lost my love for posting on
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah, man. If you find that, share it with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is hard. It gets hard after a while. I mean, I don't know how early on you hopped onto Instagram, but damn, I mean, don't even ask me about TikTok and like, that whole thing. But just even with Instagram, I got on there pretty early, like maybe 2 years after it had launched. I feel like I was one of the first people when it was still chronological, the post.
Yeah.
You would see stuff chronologically. And yeah, in like the last few years, I don't know, maybe it was politics, maybe I don't know what it was, but it just feels like more like a chore
Yeah.
these days, you know?
Yeah, and like it shouldn't, right? It should feel like
Yeah.
organic. It should feel fun. And for me, it was more so like I was at a place where professionally with my job where I feel like we were being instructed to post certain things. So it kind of lost its luster and it's lost its like I lost the me that was a part of it.
Yeah.
So now that I'm leaving my job and I'm on this path by myself, I feel like this sense of freedom, but I also feel like this sense of like rediscovering who I am like online. And it sounds cheesy, but like I want to start posting things that I want to post, stuff that I'm into. And even with this podcast, like there are so many elements of this that I can finally feel like I can be myself and,
Yeah.
and have these conversations that kind of been in my head for like a long time. Like even talking about intimacy and sex, like there's not a lot of platforms where you can talk about this, especially when it comes to a marriage where like now I feel free enough to like openly talk about this the way that I want.
Yes. Freedom. It's so
Yes,
good. It's so
it
good, man.
really is.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, damn. I mean, I've been traveling so much that it's been nice. Like for the last week or so, I've just been like chilling, and getting work done and stuff. But man, I haven't even worked out, which
Oh,
is
really?
terrible. I have a walking treadmill. I've done that. That thing has been great, especially when I'm in Massachusetts and it's freezing outside. Like it's awesome. But yeah, I mean, I counted the other day. I have taken 10 flights in the last 3 months. And that's just so much, it's like, it's exhausting. So I'm tired. I've been just relaxing.
Does it feel
Relaxing.
tiring when you're doing it? Because like, listen, there's a part about it that like sounds so much fun to me. Like you and
Yeah.
I were having a conversation the other day about you booking an Airbnb and extending your stay in LA on a past trip. That sounded fun to me. That sense of like being able to just do it on a whim sounds really cool.
Yeah, I mean, this particular season, like the last 3 months, has been a lot of work trips, and some of it was unexpected. Like we flew into Boston for 24 hours, 22 hours, I think it was, and then had to fly back to LA because there was a little snafu with Matt's job, and like he was supposed to be there for 2 weeks, and then his understanding was that it was like a freelance thing, and he was going to be coming back to Boston after those 2 weeks. And like at 1 a.m, the last day, the producer is like, "Hey, you're gonna be here next week?" And Matt's like, "No, And he's like, can you be here next week? And Matt's like, sure, if you need me. So we literally flew and we didn't know, we found out when we were sitting on the plane, like at LAX heading to Boston. I was like, Matt, maybe we should just get off the plane right now, but we couldn't because they had literally just closed the door. So we flew back. We flew across the country and then right back the next day. So that's exhausting, right? Like if
Yeah.
you're planning a vacation and you're excited for it, that's different. But like I was working the whole time, he was working the whole time. I didn't see him all day. He was gone. So yeah, but it was nice that we had a lovely Airbnb like near the water, so that was good. My view, I felt like I was on a cruise ship.
Oh, that's awesome. And then
Yeah.
you told me also that you're going to Ireland at some point too.
I am. Yeah, that is fun. So that is going to be all fun. That is Matt's birthday is coming up, and so we're planning an Ireland trip. And also, one of our favorite bands is Rufus Du Sol. Are you familiar?
I'm not.
You're not? It's
No.
awesome. It's these three guys, and it's like dance, like positive dance music. But I love it. It's like food for the soul. And we saw them live. They had a concert at the Pasadena Rose Bowl last summer in LA last August. And it was such a good time, Santi, that I was like on a whim. I went online and I'm like, where else are they going to go? Like maybe they're going to go, like I knew they were on a world tour, you know, and I'm like, maybe they're going to go somewhere where I haven't been yet. And we could go to the concert and then make a vacation out of it. And sure enough, I look, they're going to be in Dublin. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never been to Ireland. I know you've been to Ireland, so you're gonna have to give me all your tips everywhere that you and your family loved. But yeah, I can't wait. We're
That
going
sounds
we're going to the
exciting.
concert. That's the first thing I did was buy concert tickets, and once I had the tickets secure, I'm like, okay, now we can plan around this concert.
You know what it is with Ireland that I heard from people beforehand is that like, listen, Dublin, there's nothing special about it. It just feels like Boston. It feels like
See
a
that?
smaller big city. But
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised when I got there because you're in this city that's modern, yes, but then also the Irish culture there was absolutely amazing and you felt it everywhere. So the city was great. Like I loved it. And like the fact that you're going there, like I'm excited for you to experience it for the first time because it's an amazing city.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I've been wanting, it's one of the places I've been dying to go to. I don't drink beer. Definitely, I never liked Guinness, but I'm going to do the whole tour. I mean, it's like one of those things when in Rome, you got
But
to
let
go
me
for
tell
it.
you though, Guinness there tastes different than Guinness here. You have to have
That's-
at least one. And people said it to me and I thought they were stupid, but I
It's
promise
true.
you, yes, the Guinness experience there tastes so much better. It's like there's a
Interesting.
crisper taste to it.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I don't know, maybe they'll make a fan out of me. Only when I'm in Ireland though. It's like that's so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll report back. I'll let you know
Good.
how the
Good.
Guinness how it goes. So man, we're getting right into it. I mean, we're only a few episodes in and we're gonna talk about sex. It's
I
gonna
feel like we
happen.
have to, right? Because isn't that one of the biggest things when it comes to a marriage? It's one of the biggest, most important things, but it's also one of the most challenging things to keep up and keep it good.
Yes, especially when you have kids. Like I don't know, sometimes Matt and I just with work, I run my book club, like social life. Sometimes we're just like exhausted, right? And like that kind of falls by the wayside. And I can't imagine like, what it's like for you guys with four kids. Like, I mean, I would be, aside from having the energy, time, right? But also like, I'd be super afraid of like a kid walking in.
Yeah.
Has that ever
Well,
happened? Has that ever happened?
it has never happened to us, but going
Good.
back to our house now, our bedroom used to be on the main floor, and I felt like it was in the middle of everything. And our kids, their bedroom was upstairs, so I hated the fact that our bedroom was there. But there was always a fear that they would come in. But we also would always hear if they were coming down the stairs. In the last 3 years, I think it was, we moved our bedroom above the garage, so we have a lot of separation and privacy now.
Oh, good.
But our kids are also at an age where they don't want to come up to our room. They don't even want to see what's going on up there. But if they do, they'll yell up the stairs because they obviously know at this point that we have sex, right? So we've never been caught, fortunately. But going back to your point to like the busy life and all that stuff, in a sense, it's the same thing that you guys deal with. But now it's just kids are older, so it's not that like it doesn't handcuff us as much, but we are tired during the week. But that is why, going back to the beginning of the show,
Yeah.
I said scheduled sex is the best sex. So we pretty much schedule our sex Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay.
Like that, like we already know it's already in the book. We know what to expect
Yeah.
and everything around it. That way it takes the pressure off the week where we don't, if we're tired, we have a busy day, we know we're just going to bed, we're watching our TV shows.
Yep.
But on the weekends, we know it's sexy time. And like,
Right.
I love it. It allows me to prep and do what I need to do for that evening, for that night and all that stuff, which I'd get
Yes.
into. But like, it just takes a lot of the pressure off everything and the unknown about it.
Right, right, right. Wow. Okay. That's a good, so that's something that have we ever scheduled sex? I don't think we've ever, maybe. I mean, sometimes when it's, when it has been, I hate putting a time frame on things because I also don't like I hate when "Oh, you have to have sex every week or you have to every 2 weeks or something like that." Like I just feel like you just do it whenever you want to do it. But I
Yeah.
do understand that like life can get in the way, right? And so when it feels like a long time for us, we might be like, "Hey, what do you think, tonight? Like let's,
Mhm.
and so that will be the extent of our scheduling. But I
I see.
like having it in the schedule. Like have it
Yes.
actually, you guys actually have it as an item in the
So
calendar.
it's not an item, but we know that we do it on the weekends. But one thing that is
Okay.
an item that revolves specifically around this is I actually track my wife's period.
Okay.
So I know which weeks we're not having sex. I know, like, again, that sounds psychotic. It honestly
That's
does, and
not
I
psychotic
understand
at
it.
all.
But that way I just know what to expect. That way there's no like guessing and like, you know what I don't
Yes.
want is I don't want to be like, oh, are we gonna have sex tonight? And her be like,
Yeah.
no, I'm tired. And like for me, it takes away of the turn down part of it of like
Right.
the rejection, I guess you could kind of say.
Right. Not to even ask. You're like,
Yes.
let's not even
Yes.
go there because it's not going to happen.
Now I understand that there's a spontaneity. It takes out the spontaneousness of it, of like everything, and I completely like understand that. And I know a lot of people like thrive on that, but for us, I think we're on the same page. We're like we're okay with that not being there,
Hmm.
and we know that twice a week we're gonna have sex. Now this also brings me to my next question:
Mm.
what, how many times a week or month do you guys have sex, and what is an okay time also based off like when you guys are feeling like you guys have not had it in X amount of time?
Yeah. I feel like it just depends on what's going on, right? There are some like when we're chilling and we're not like crazy traveling all over the place. I feel like twice a week is like, it's
Yeah.
like our norm. Vacations are always like easy, right? You're relaxed, you're like, it's happening like
Yep.
every night. And it's just, I don't know. It's like, I think it's because you're relaxed, right? You're not thinking
Yeah.
like it's time off from everything else. It's just the two of you, like, especially if you go to another country or something like that, and you're just traveling with, like when Matt and I go on like a proper vacation. It's just so easy, it really is. But
But the every night thing, can I tell you that like
that's
I
insane.
I don't know if I could physically do that like anymore. I mean, no. I could do that anymore, but it just makes
Yeah.
it like when you separate it, for me, it makes it that much special on like that Saturday.
For sure. But also, yeah, I mean, listen, it's funny because when I came up with like when I thought about like, yeah, we should 100% have like multiple episodes about sex, but like the first time we talk about it, I'm like, we should call it midlife sex because midlife sex is much different than like
Yeah.
sex in your 20s. You know what I mean? Especially when it's like a new relationship, I mean, geez, there was one, he's gonna kill me. Hopefully he's not listening. But there was one time when we were at Endicott, we had sex 5 times in one night. In one night. Like,
How?
but we were in our 20s. You know what I mean? Like we were
Yes.
21 years old. Like it was just you have the energy when you're
Yeah.
that age.
based off that statement alone,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll confess something now. At age 45, I like a little chemical help. And I mean, some Viagra. Like,
Yeah.
can I tell you? And I always tell people, because sometimes I tell people and they're like, you do? I'm like, oh my God, it is the best thing ever. When I was 21 and I was at Endicott in college,
Hmm.
it was effortless. It was effortless. There was
Yeah.
no worry. There was no nothing. Listen, at 45, testosterone goes down for men and it just becomes more of a challenge.
Right.
So if at Endicott I was 100%, and now I'll call myself, I'm at 95%. But with a little chemical help like Viagra, I'm at 102 and it feels like I'm 18 again. And there's not
Yeah.
even a concern for me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. So
Wow.
when I tell people, they're like, aren't you too young for that? I'm like, well, I just want to be able to perform at my best, not and also for myself, but also for my wife.
Yeah.
And I tell people that they're like, oh my God, that's crazy. But then the more I have conversations like this, the more I realize that a lot of people have gone down that path and also are like, wow, thank you for saying that because I thought that I was the only one that felt a little bit different.
Right. Right. I mean, I think it's probably a very personal thing, right? Like you can start like whenever you feel different, right? And by the way, and Matt and I have talked about it, like because that's one of my tips for having really good sex with your significant other after 25 years, right? It's like you have to communicate, you have to talk to each other about all of these things, and like whether does maybe it doesn't feel as good as it did when we were younger, and that's one of the things that like we've talked about too. We're like, okay, so then we start brainstorming, well, what can we do to like make it feel better, right? And if you need a little chemical help, which by the way, Santi, I just found out from one of my favorite podcasts, they were interviewing this doctor who created the female version of
Oh, really?
Viagra, yeah, for women, and apparently it's amazing. I'm gonna order some. It's called Addy, Addi, Addy. I wrote it down. Wait a minute. Addy.com. Addy.com for all the ladies listening, or men who want to get it for their wives if they want to try it. But I think it's about time that somebody created the female
Yeah.
version of
Yes.
Viagra. Because man, the hormones that happen during midlife, and like that's something Matt and I were talking about. Like it's obviously when you're going through like, well, for women like perimenopause and menopause, like your hormones go crazy, right? And you have to like balance them with hormone replacement therapy. And for men, that happens much slower. So you don't feel or notice the difference as much
Yeah.
as women, right? Maybe I'm sure that's not for all men. I'm sure some, men are different, right? Some like start feeling the dip in testosterone perhaps like earlier than others. But I think it's just important, to like know that stuff too when it's going on, right? Like it's not you, it could be your hormones. And so get help, go to talk to your doctor if it's
Yeah.
hormone replacement therapy, if it's this Addy, pill, if it's Viagra, like whatever it is that you need. I think you should 100% get that help if you need a little boost.
I love the fact that you and Matt communicate about your sex life. Do you feel like you guys are both receptive and open to the conversations?
Yes, always.
And
Always.
there's even like communication like back and forth?
Yeah. Yeah. All the time. Maybe not like it's so funny. It's not, I hate to put it this way. It's like we have a like a recap, sometimes
Okay.
after, there's like a little recap moment, like, oh, like how'd that feel? Like
Yeah.
what was it like? You know what I mean? And we just talk about it, like notes, you
That's
know?
great.
I mean, not like during, but like, I think it's so, I think communication and talking openly about sex and like letting each other know what you like, what you don't like,
Yes.
what feels good, what doesn't feel so great. Because also your body changes as you get older. The things that you liked when you were younger don't feel good anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
all of these things, like you have to have open communication and that dialogue so that you know what to do, right? Like if I tell
Mhm.
him that something didn't feel good, he's not going to do it
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. And I call that like wants and needs, right? And I've always said
Hmm.
that to my wife. Now, the challenge that I have is that my wife isn't as open as I am about some of these conversations. I'm very like I will have a conversation about sex and be feel very comfortable where
Mm.
she's reserved, she's a little more shy. So like
Mm.
she's never been comfortable talking about this, but I'm also like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't need to know everything, but I just need to know that I'm in the right vicinity of where I should be and something that you like or dislike. So I've also come to realize that I can ask her direct questions, but the questions need to be served with a yes or no answer.
Oh,
Hey, when
okay.
I did this, did you like that? And and it's a variety of three, yes, no, or it was okay. It was okay. I can kind of tell like she's fine with it, but she didn't love it.
Got
But
it.
if I say, did you like that? She goes, yes, in a very way, then I know that there's more to that, that I can't really dig deeper on that.
Okay.
But I also know that that was okay. Just recently before vacation, I said something that I was like, hey, when you do this, I feel like you're not giving it your all in a certain thing. And she didn't realize it. But later on that night, she did it. And I was like, oh my God. The next day, I was like, what you did just opened up a whole nother door of pleasure, I guess we like could say.
Okay.
And I'm like, that was awesome. And ever since then, now it's taken our sex life back to a like different level. And I think that's what's really good about like communication is going to be different. But if you know your partner well enough, you can read through the lines. And even if they're not so forthcoming with the information, they are communicating back to you in certain ways.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. That's interesting. So it's like even if someone's not, if your partner isn't open with in terms of vocabulary with their
Yes.
with details, you
Yes.
know her well enough that you know that her like the way she reacts. Like she can say
Yes.
yes. Yes can be said in different ways. No can be said in different ways. I get it. That's interesting. That's cool.
Yes.
I love that. Because if
What
she's
I've
not
al-
comfortable, like why force her to, sit
And
there?
that was something early on too that I didn't realize.
Mhm.
I always had this expectation from her that she was gonna be able to talk about things and see things the same way that I did. Once I realized that that was not the case, that we're different people and our communications are different and everything that we're into is different, then it made our relationship stronger. My expectations were that she was going to be the same thing as me. I also started to learn that her love languages were going to be different and all these things. So when we communicate, like obviously that part is going to be different. But within this time, I've also realized that there are boundaries in our sex life. And what I mean by boundaries, like, listen, there's stuff that she likes, there's stuff that I like, and that we're going to meet in the middle on. And I know from her through these conversations that in these boundaries, we can do anything we want. Once we go outside of there, it gets a little bit uncomfortable for her. And also, too, there's things that I don't want to do.
Sure.
But within these boundaries, I've realized you can explore and have so much fun with the things that you've always done, but there are different ways to do them.
For
And
sure.
I think sometimes people might see something on TV or might compare their sex life to something that they're seeing or like a book. But you can't really put that level of expectation on it because that's not so much reality. And you can still rediscover your love for something within these boundaries that we've always kind of played in.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. That's so interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? What else you got? What are some like top tips? Top
I
tips.
think that grabbing your wife's butt consistently is still pretty amazing. I feel like that's a reminder that you still have this level of attraction to her.
Yes.
And I know that relationships aren't always going to be great. You're going to go through ups and downs, but at least if you keep that consistent, it's a reminder to you guys both that you both still love each other and you still have that sexual attraction, which again, keeping that up is really, really like important, but it takes work. And this is an example of it just being work, but it's fun.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Like I noticed like when I was younger, and I don't know if you guys fell into the same trap as well, but like we just thought it was gonna be that way for right? Like you would see older people and you'd be like,
Yep.
"Well, I'm not gonna be that way because you're not there." But you start to creep into that territory of like familiarity, right? Where you're just like you've been together for so long, like you start getting busy with your careers and maybe kids and life, and then you're like, oh wait, it's like sex isn't happening the way it used to in
Yeah.
when I was in my 20s, and you're the spontaneous, like you're not having like spontaneous sex like in random places or whatever, and and you realize that you're like, okay, this is like something, like you don't just get married and that's it. Like you have to continue like feeding that garden, if you
Yeah.
will, right? Like you have to, so like for us, as an example, like the grabbing the butt is a great example, but I think that that's an example of being flirtatious, right? And so it's like you can't forget to date your significant other, right? Like Matt and I flirt all the time. Like that's a big thing for us. And I think that that helps with intimacy and feeling the closeness, right? Like we're not just ignoring our each other's presence, right? We're not roommates. So yeah, like the grabbing of the butt, like random, making out, like in bed. I feel like that always like, initiates and leads to
Yeah.
more. Yeah, I think that like flirting on a daily basis is very important, and telling each other you love each other and yeah, all that stuff, and randomly just being like, damn, you're hot. Like you
Yeah.
are a sexy man, like you just say stuff like that. I don't know.
I tell my wife that she thinks I'm kidding, and she also then that's another thing that we're working on with her. We're like taking a compliment because I say stuff like that. She feels super awkward, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
take the compliment and like embrace it."
Right.
So, do you guys do flirty text?
Sometimes like sometimes it's so funny because we were talking about jealousy
Hmm.
on a previous episode, and like I sometimes I like pretend, to this is so funny. I can't the things I am sharing with you right now, Santi. So I will text him and I'll be like, hey, be home in 10 minutes. Tell that bitch to leave. Like you better get your gumat out of the house. Like just kidding around, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, I think our texts, when we were in LA and he was on set every single day for hours. I mean, I didn't see him all day. Yeah, it was like a constant like love fest on texts.
What about sexy pictures?
Never. Never. Only because like we would I mean, you hear these horror stories
Yeah.
of like,
Yeah.
no, it's just photos getting out, people's phones getting
Yeah.
hacked. Like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Do you remember
I
when
guess
like,
you're right.
yeah, dude, like, wait, don't tell me you guys do that. That's like,
No, this is
okay.
something that I've wanted to do. She was away for work last month, and I tried so hard to get her to send me a picture. She refused to. And again, it's not in her nature.
Yeah.
And if she would have sent me one, I would have dropped dead of joy. But she didn't. But I feel like I was this close. It was this close. So she's going away
Oh
next
my
month, and
gosh.
I'm gonna attempt it again. But like, just because it's not within her nature. But we've
Right.
never done that. But I know couples that do, and they seem to love it.
Oh, I just think it's risky.
It is,
Like,
yes.
what if Joanne is like, I mean, I don't know if it's a work trip or what kind of trip she's going on, but can you imagine if she's like next to her boss and like ding, and she looks at her phone and opens it, and the whoever's, she's sharing a cab or something with someone,
Yes,
and the
yes.
person next to her sees your Jack Johnson. Is it Jack
But you know
Johnson?
what though? I was waiting. I mean, I waited till she was in the hotel room when I was trying to get her to
Oh,
send me the picture.
very thoughtful. Very
Yes,
thoughtful.
yes, yes. Not when she's in the taxi or in a board meeting, but yeah, I was waiting until she was in the hotel room. But she refused to. But I feel like if I keep working it, she might.
Yeah.
But I
Maybe.
don't know. But you are so right though. The thought of it
Yeah.
getting out be really tough.
Maybe. Maybe you could use one of the, like WhatsApp or something. I just
Yeah.
feel like you can't send it. It's got to be like an encrypted, protected platform. Otherwise,
True.
otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, I just feel like it's a little too risky.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
definitely right.
I want to stress again. It's like the changes that happen in women's bodies in your 40s is like insane. I mean, it is like a roller coaster ride, and it 100% affects your sex life, And
Mm,
so my biggest advice, if you're in your 20s, you don't have to worry about anything. Or maybe you do. And if you do, by all means, talk to your doctor, get the help that you need. But when you're in your 40s, it's like I've seen a huge difference, like for me, and it has nothing to do with the level of attractiveness or like, it has nothing to do with that. It's all like a lot of it is mental because my hormones are all over the place. And also other things that can happen, like vaginal dryness and like all of these things. And so don't be afraid to bring that stuff up. And look, I'll be the first one to say it anything that you haven't talked about before, whether it be with your partner or your doctor, is awkward, but you have to step outside of the box and make yourself, like, force yourself to have those conversations, because having the conversations leads to solutions.
Yeah.
Whether it's hormone replacement therapy so that your sex feels better, but like, painful sex is like a real thing for women in their 40s. It wasn't for me, but I started feeling a difference, like uncomfortable,
Oh,
like a
okay.
feeling of uncomfortable. And so I was like busting the door down at my OBGYN's office a couple months ago. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to wait till this is painful
Yeah.
to then do something about it. So what can I be doing now? And she was like, well, there's this and this, you can use lube, there's vaginal estrogen, there's like all this stuff. And I was like, great, tell me more, prescribe, like, I'll try it. And so you just can't be afraid to talk about that stuff when it does happen. And
Yeah.
different things happen in your 20s, different things in your 30s, right? And in your 40s. But like, whenever, I mean, I think it leads to my number one tip for having great sex is communication,
Mm.
and so just always talk and start
Yeah.
start early. It's like the younger you are and start having that open communication with your partner, the easier it'll be when, you're then in your 40s and you have to talk about vaginal dryness. Like, who wants to talk about that? You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Like, what's happening? And it's just it's a must. You have to do it because it's
Yeah.
happening.
You know what I love is that I feel like we were 10 years ago, people weren't having conversations like this. But because
No.
of podcasts like this and other ones and open communication that people are having in the bedroom, I
Hmm.
feel like all these things that people have been dealing with, where if you go back in time, like this was just a part about marriage. You have dryness, you have ED or whatever it is, and that just became a part of life. But there's so many elements and so many places where one can get help to extend your sex life, and your sex life leads to positive thoughts and positivity and like all these things that I feel
Yeah.
like people having sex longer because of these open conversations and these resources that people are taking advantage of. And then
Yeah.
also people like yourself talking about stuff like this, that if you go back, people weren't speaking about this, but something that
No.
touches home with so many like females. This is amazing that again, you're having open conversations about this. So let me commend
Yeah.
you on that.
Thank you, Santi. And
Yeah.
props to you too for, admitting that you had a little chemical help. And like, there's just no, I think we need to normalize these conversations so
Yeah.
that we can help each other out. There's not enough information
Yeah.
out there when it comes to this stuff, especially from people, like the fact that you and I are not married. We're
Mm.
married to different people, but having these conversations and like, even with you is super helpful.
Mm.
And like I'm gonna totally have a conversation with Matt, like based on the things that you've mentioned today, like things that I didn't think of because I'm not a man, and I
Yeah.
didn't even think to ask him. And maybe he feels some sort of way about bringing it up. I don't know if he's ever wanted to bring it up, but I will bring it up now.
Now, the audience doesn't know this, but we are recording on a Saturday. That means that tonight is Saturday sex night, which means, and I have this whole thing down to a system. This entire day, I
Uh-huh.
have been preparing because what I have to do is I have to hydrate. Because the
Okay.
more you hydrate, the less you feel the side effects, the stuffy nose, the flushing of the face. So if you hydrate enough, you don't feel any of that. So fast forward to about six
Wow.
o'clock tonight. What I'll do is I'll take it around 6:37 on an empty stomach, eat 30 minutes after that. And by the time this evening rolls around, which is usually around 9:30ish, maybe 10 at the latest, I am ready to go. I am like,
Wow.
dude, I'm good. And yeah, that'll last for a couple of hours.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You plan it all out. I love it. It's foolproof. No failures happening here. Wait, so it's not like the movies where in the movies it's like things are getting hot and heavy and then the man pops in Viagra
No.
and then you have to take it 2 hours ahead of time?
No, I like to take it 2 hours. That way it's well within my system. Cause like I don't want to like if we go out to dinner,
Mm-hmm.
I want to put it in my system before. That way we can go through the night, have a couple of drinks. And when I get home, it's fine. It usually will
Okay.
take effect for me in about 25 minutes, 20, like around there on an empty stomach.
Yes.
But if you eat and then take it afterwards, it takes a super long time. And then the effects of it are watered down and aren't as strong. So
Interesting.
that's why I take it that early and then go out for the rest of the night. But it's usually on average about 20 minutes. I can start to feel it more so like in my brain. I'm like, okay, like it's in there.
Wow. Wow. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to like do a little research and see. Like, I had no idea that the timeline of it all.
Yeah. And
That's
now,
cool.
if you do eat, here's the thing: you have to wait at least 2 hours or like an hour and a half for all the food to process through your system
Right.
before you should take it. Then you're ready to go.
Oh, okay.
But
Good.
at the end of the day, I just like going out to dinner. I like going out for the night with one already in the chamber, like ready to go.
It's like a gun.
Yep. Locked and loaded. By the time we get
Dude,
home, it's all good.
I love the pre-planning. This is
Yep.
like this preparation equals excellence, and I am here
Yes.
for it. I am here for that. Damn. Well, I love that. That's some great advice right there. Interesting. I'm gonna share it with Matt.
Let me know how that goes. And if you need any advice or need anybody to hook you guys up, and now with all this online stuff, it's so easy to get and manageable and
It
also
is.
very discreet and not
Yeah.
awkward. So yeah.
TBD. We're not
Yep.
being discreet here, but yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So, all right, Santi. Well, what were your high lows for the week?
But the high for the week is my wife has to go away for work again, but I love
Mhm.
the fact that she can book a getaway, not a getaway, but a work trip without the stress of having to know that, without the worry that the kids aren't going to be taken care of. I think we built our relationship to the point where like we're equal parts when it comes to parenting, but for any one of us, when we have to go away from work or have something busy, the other partner is there just effortlessly. And I just like that if I just like her not having that stress of having to second guess everything when she needs to go away from work. So that was my high.
That's cool. That's
How,
thoughtful.
how about yourself?
My high there was my high as a wife this week. Matt has been super super busy. He's like juggling like three different jobs right now. And usually we try to like keep things pretty 50-50 with like cooking dinner and like, things that have to be done around the house. And this week, just because I saw how busy he was and how like nonstop he's been, I'll just, when it's dinner time, time to make dinner, I just go and I've just done it. And the other day he was like, oh my gosh, he's like, I'm so grateful for you. Like, thank you so much. And, he was like, you saved my life, which I thought was really funny. But he just really, I'm like, I'll just make dinner. Like, it
Yeah,
wasn't that big of a deal for me. And yeah, for him, it was a big deal. So I was like, oh, good job, Suze.
I see. What about your low since we're here?
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, my low. Just this morning, Matt was starting to tell me a story about a friend, and I cut him off to criticize him, like in the middle, and it had nothing to do with his story. It was. I don't even know. I cut him off. I criticized him for. It was like a phone. Sometimes I'll back up. Sometimes I feel like, Matt's phone rings and he's just like, what if it's my agent? What if my manager like calling me with some important news? I was like, and I'm always like, dude, you're not a doctor. This isn't like nobody's gonna die, right? I'm like, if we're having dinner and your phone rings or you get a ping, from a text or whatever, it can wait 20 minutes. Like we're just, it only takes 20 minutes. So I've in the past have mentioned that. And so he mentioned, oh, so and so was texting me nonstop. There was so many. So I call him back and and he starts as he's telling me the story, in my brain, I have like this background of past times where he just won't put his phone down. And so I immediately like laid into him and started criticizing him. I'm like, you don't have to answer the dude's text right away. Like you could just wait, right? And he's like, and then it turned into a thing, while we were like brushing our teeth this morning. And poor guy's just trying to tell me a story. And yeah, and then he was like, I don't even remember what I was trying to tell you. you
Mm.
know? So that was my low. I mean, it just happened today. And I did apologize. I felt bad because I immediately was like when he couldn't remember what he was trying to even tell me in the first place, because I cut him off immediately and started
Mm.
criticizing him. And yeah, it's hard. And when I apologized, he was like, it happens so frequently, Susie, that I don't even, it's just a thing. And I'm like, oh, I don't want that to happen. Okay. Like it's something that I have to work on. So that's like my what I'm gonna work on for
But at least
for for
right?
the
At
next
least you're
while.
willing to like work on it.
Yeah, 100%. I'm willing to work on everything, that bothers him, even if it's done innocently, right? Like sometimes
Yeah.
we do things that come across a certain way or something that we don't mean to hurt you, but it
Yeah.
happens. And so yeah, I was really sad about that afterwards. I was like, I'm so sorry. That was my low as a wife. What about you?
Well, it's funny that we're talking about sex here. My low as a husband is that I realized this morning that I get a little too handsy.
Too handsy.
Yes, especially when we're in bed. She says that sometimes I linger when I start feeling around. And I have this thing in the morning. I like to cuddle. Well, Monday through Friday, I'm usually not waking up at home, like with my wife, because my job is hosting a morning show. So I'm out of the house at 4:30.
Right.
On the weekends, we wake up and I get to cuddle and I love it. It's like one of my favorite things, but I also like to feel around and I get handsy. She's okay with the handsy part, but she's not okay with when I linger too long with my hand on a certain thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me kind of showing my intimacy in certain ways. But I've also
Right.
realized that today I think she's like, hey, you're lingering too much and it doesn't really make me feel great. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
my low was the fact that I realized this morning that I was lingering, but at the same time, like I get it. She communicated that with me and I need to be better about it. But then I turned it into an entire joke and I'm like, so let me just clarify. So if we're having sex, I can linger, just to be super clear. Then it evolved into like a joke between us. But I
Yep.
think my low is that sometimes I get a little too handsy without realizing that in these moments when she's overstimulated, that it's probably not the right timing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. And she told you, she communicated with you, so now
Yeah.
you know.
And I listened.
Yeah, maybe it's a Latin thing because it's for those who don't know, Santi and I are fellow Latinos,
Yeah.
and our significant others are white, right?
Yeah.
Joanne's like fully 100% white,
She's
and
she's she's like a Viking.
she's a Viking.
Yeah.
I call Matt my Viking
Yeah.
sometimes, because he's also from that region, and
Yeah.
although his mom is Greek, so yeah, like her maiden name, Kachopoulos.
Okay.
It does not get more Greek than
Yeah.
Kachopoulos. So Matt
And
does have some
listen,
Greek.
being Latin, and I don't know if you can co-sign this, but like Latins are very sexually charged.
We are.
Yeah.
Like like Matt calls me Merv the Perv, or like he's got these like nicknames for me.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, he's got some good ones. You mentioned Hansy. He calls me Angelina Jolie
Ah,
because I
because
guess
you get handsy
because I
too.
get handsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing, right? It's
It
a thing.
is.
And I remember as a kid, like my aunts and uncles, like just being like, dude, you guys need to chill. Like you're having these conversations in front of the kids. Like
Yeah.
this is inappropriate. Like, but they didn't care. It was just, yeah, I guess maybe it's just where Latin lover comes from, right?
That's
Like that
exactly it.
term.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a thing, I guess. Because Matt has all like he'll go all day. Like he has Merv the Perv, Angelina Jolie. I'm trying to think of the other ones that he calls me. Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Those
But
are really funny.
he's got like these names for me that have to do with like me being pervy
That's
toward him.
classic.
I know. So
That's
good.
classic.
So good. I love it. But it's,
Yeah.
again, the flirtiness, I
Yeah.
think it's important. I think it's we actually every now and then we're like, you know what? It's friggin' awesome that we are like this with each other 25 years into our relationship, and whenever
Mhm.
we see like videos online on like social media of like seniors grabbing each other's butts or like stuff like that. You're just like, yes, like I'm here for that. Like I'm totally gonna be that pervy old
Same.
lady with my
Same. And I'll be
husband.
popping some Viagra in my 80s too.
Boom. And my Addy. This has become like a it's become an advertisement for like the Addy, the female version of Viagra and Viagra. It's so
Yep.
funny. So funny. They can cut us a check. Well, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to give us a follow on social media. We're at Spouseology Pod everywhere. And if you have any questions, like let us know, DM us your questions, and we will be more than happy to answer them.